Alfred, just how are we? And why?
To infinity and beyond!
Okay, just thought I'd start off with a little jokey joke, guys. Really, here goes some good news. Bitunix says we're on our way to $180,000 Bitcoin. Look at here. David Bailey says this is nowhere near the end of our bull cycle. Okay, guys, now let's take a quick objective look at the markets, at the numbers, and see what's going on right now. Just like most weeks, I put out a market maker zone at the top of the week, and we just kept drifting until we broke that market maker zone. Let me talk about the market maker zone for just a second. This signifies where I believe the market maker is working inside of that work area, and that's where price will stay when the market maker is in control, unless the market maker decides to move the price into another area and work another area. So we started off here, we just kept drifting lower, and I want to explain why. Because someone decided to sell $2.6 billion, well, at once on a Sunday. Okay, it was kind of Monday UTC, and this shook the market, and we immediately started finding our way to the other market maker zone. Now you see that we touched inside of support, and we done more than the entire where we should have been as far as expected statistical move that week. We done it basically in that day. Now this means that this is a lot of overselling, and this means that there may be some buys out there. If you see something of quality and you have confidence in, it may be a time to purchase. But it also means that we're outside of that market maker zone, and either the market maker's losing control, which usually they'll get it back, or B, they want to work inside of a new and even lower zone. So you never really know. You just mark off your zones, and you let's find out what happened. That news, everything sounds great there. We're going to get to 180K. This could go on forever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, these people have a fiduciary interest because they're either running for a publication or running a ETF. So, it's kind of sketchy there. But this is where we are. And when we got there, we got this little bounce here. That's great. That shows some support, but also I want to caution you that this is kind of maybe what some guys call a dead cat bounce. But since I live with so many cats, I don't try not to say stuff like that, really. Okay? So we don't know yet. We are seeing some rebound and some resilience here, and that's great. But another thing is, once you've seen this much of skepticism in the market, it's going to take a little while for it emotionally to work its way out. I don't care if you're a retail or institutional player. That's just reality, guys. Okay, really that's all I have for right now, guys, on Bitcoin. But let's take a look at crypto real fast, see what's happening on our crypto screener. You can see we had 0 green with unusual activity to the upside, 44 negative with unusual activity to the downside. Again, this is where I like to come in and find some quality coins sometime and get some buys. You have to have that confidence yourself. If you don't know what quality is, that's why we put this coin clarity engine here, which is built with our own ideas and models for AI. And higher number, probably longer term, more quality coin. Now I'll look for something that's breaking structure, and that's, I can tell when I see something that's usually swinging up, and all of a sudden on this particular day of doom, this is swinging down. There's a lot of unusual stuff going on in the market right now, guys, and you can see even the tokens and coins that were going up, everybody was dipping on that day. The biggest dips are going to be around the top. The biggest dips are sometimes going to drift off into yellow and show you extremely unusual activity to the downside. And hey, if it's a quality coin, then that's a good buy. Let's take a look at something that is supposed to be more organized, and it has been for ages, but there's just chaos right now with this, I call it a currency war. And let's look at the Forex screener. It's a screenshot that I saved earlier, and you can tell you can usually save these with a button over here, and you'll keep that HTML. And I like to keep this on crypto and Forex to kind of refresh me on what all is actually going on. And you can see we had 3 going to the upside unusually and 5 going to the downside. And while all of this was happening, guys were buying the US dollar, selling the Swiss E. Guys were buying the US dollar, selling the Canadian. Guys were buying the US dollar, selling the Japanese. If you've watched my prior video, you know this is totally unusual, and that's why I call this a currency war. This is when a process comes into play which is called monetization, which is really where we will sometimes sell and buy our own currency to kind of fight back against the oblivion that we saw in that last video, where everyone in sync was selling the US dollar, and de-dollarization was in full force on that day. So I'm not ready to commit to this being the end of it. The bank's trying to hold and maintain some stability because there has to be stability in the dollar. Let me tell you something. When word gets out that, okay, Mr. Trump is firing committee members, when he fires heads of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics that are actually putting together this data just because he doesn't like the data, all of this signifies instability. When Jerome Powell comes out and he says, okay, you know what, we may lower rates, it signifies instability. It signifies that maybe somebody else is running the show here, and there's supposed to be a clear, distinguishable differential between the Fed and any politics. Because if any politician, I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, all of them want lower rates. All of them want cheaper money flushed into the system so that they can cry that the economy is doing better. And this has nothing to do with the government. The Federal Reserve is a private entity. Some people will say it's a quasi-private entity, but you know, we keep it real over here. And this is really upsetting to international businesses. Like it or lump it, we're all on this big rock spinning together, and you want everyone to believe that the reserve currency is the most stable and safest currency on the planet, and that is the US dollar. And what I'm seeing right now, based on the statistical data, just doesn't look good, guys. Just keeping it real, that's all I got, guys. Once again, this is Alfred from Amassers.com. I'll see you guys on the next video. See you when I see you. Peace.